Hi Brendon, my name is Jen. It's nice to finally, formally, virtually meet you. I have to tell you that there was a day that you made me cry. I mean, actually bawl my eyes out for hours. So I would like to tell you that story, but there's not enough time in this video. So you can click this link right here and I will tell it to you. That is my little special magical side note area. Anytime that there's a story or tangent that I really wish that I could go on, the button will go there. I'm so excited about it, it's gonna be really cool. So, on to the 5 success tips. So, here's my presentation. Success tip number 1. Cut the cord. So success tip number 1 is all about taking that leap of faith, which half of the people watching this video right now probably didn't do. You know, you wanted to make this video, but for whatever reason, you let some excuse get in your way. Here's the most important implementation tip that I have before you choose to cut the cord. Whoa, I know, it's like a tip inside of a tip. I do that, it's one of those tangent things, but this one's really worth it. It is, have an attack plan. Hit the ground running. Cut the cord, but hit the ground running, and in order to do so, you have to have an attack plan. When I'm talking about attack plan, I don't mean just like in your head, like, oh, well, I'll do step 1 and step 2 and step 3. I mean written out. This is almost like a business plan, but an attack plan. Implementation steps. In the last year, I went from just like managing myself to managing like 8 people plus a few more. I know, round numbers. So I had to figure out how to take these big picture ideas that were in my head and then split them up into little tiny steps that not only I could understand, but that I could just give on a sheet of paper to somebody else, and then they could implement that. Whether it's just you and you are the only person that you have to rely on at this point in time, or you have an entire team, you have to know how to take a big picture and then split it up into very realistic, doable steps. So Brendon Burchard, I am going to gift you a little short thing that I put together. You can tear it up, rip it to pieces, but as a thank you, I want to give you like my attack plan guide on how to put together an attack plan. If you hang out till the end of the video, I will give you a link to that. So now you have to stick around. Success tip number 2. Everybody's heard of think big, and we're really good at that. We can come up with these big giant plans of total world domination, but sometimes they're so big they're kind of hard to chew on. Where do you get started? Other people, especially now, want to tell you, oh yeah, but build small, you know, don't invest too much, go the free route. Both sides are right. You do want to think big. You do have to build small. But here's the secret. Think big, build small, but be prepared while building small. Be prepared, mentally prepared to become really big. I know you're sitting there looking at your computer screen going, what are you talking about? What I mean is Gary Vaynerchuk, most popularly known for Wine Library TV, he refers to it as hustle, right? And when you're going through those growing pains of just you working the, what's it called? The graveyard shift in order to make everything come together, you have to be ready mentally to do what it takes to hustle. So think big, build small, but be mentally prepared to do what it takes to become really big. And I have a bunch of really good stories about that, but we'll save that for another day. Success tip number 3. Accountability matters every day. Number 1 was cut the cord, and in order for you to do that, you have to have that attack plan. You know, Brendon, this kind of ties back into the thing that you preach. When you had your accident and you asked yourself those questions, did I live, did I love, and did I matter? That was kind of like your end of life report. You know, thank goodness it wasn't, but you were asking yourself these questions. And so what I do and what I had my team do whenever I was working with my team is we did end of day reports every single day to make sure that every single day we were living, or we were loving, or we were mattering. Were we taking the steps that we needed to create something that mattered? This is another little tip inside a tip. Inside of accountability matters every single day is create end of day reports for yourself. It doesn't matter if you have a team or not. Do it for you and do it every single day. There's 3 parts to an end of day report. Part 1, what did you do today? And I'm not talking about, you know, I answered the phone or I took the dog for a walk. What did you do today that mattered? Part 2, What did you learn? This is the stuff that you're putting into your future bank. And plus, once you write it down and you write it to yourself, I send myself an email every day, but you can put it in a Word document or put it in a journal. What did you learn? Those are investments that you make in yourself every single day. If you're not learning, then you're spinning your wheels. And part 3, this is my favorite part. What will you do tomorrow? So this is one of the most key points, and it's really good when you're developing a team because, one, you can see what they think they're supposed to be doing tomorrow and you can kind of make adjustments and whatnot. But it's also good for yourself because if you put down those high value activities of what you're going to be doing tomorrow and then you allow yourself to just be and sleep on it, your brain's actually already coming up with the plan. It's working on it while you're sleeping. And when you wake up the next day, you hit the ground running. What did you do? What did you learn? And what will you do tomorrow? End of day reports. Do them. They're awesome. Success tip number 4. Sometimes I just have to get a little bit goofy. This one's important. Well, they're all really important. So if you weren't paying attention, you should probably rewind. That's a success tip for another day. Be outrageous. Woo! Like Lady Gaga. Because if you're boring, nobody's paying attention to you. Lesson number 4, it used to be called cut your losses, but I've been working really hard to flip my vocabulary. Nothing negative or negative connotation about it. I'm calling it be thankful, mostly because I don't like losing. If you're in business, you don't like losing either, and you don't want to lose anything. So therefore, instead of losing time or losing money or losing deals, I prefer to say it as I invest a lot of time and I invest a lot of money in my real life, very real life education. So recognize when something isn't working, right? Keep your end of day reports. And then as soon as you realize you're spending time in an area that's not providing you return, cut it. It's okay. Maybe the timing just isn't right. Maybe you learned a lesson from that and you've decided, hey, it's time to go in another direction. That was like a really hard thing for me to do because I just fall in love with all of my ideas and some of them aren't that good. I just like them. Be thankful when you realize something isn't working and make a change quickly. No big deal. You don't have to feel like you failed because you didn't. Side note, while you're focusing on whatever you've lost, you are losing substantially, exponentially more. Have your little morning session, make it short, and let's move on. Success tip number 5. Seriously, connect every chance you get. And this tip is specifically for those people who watched your video, thought about it, but didn't quite get their entry in. Don't do that anymore. I have this theory. It's called the puzzle piece theory. And essentially, in the universe, there are billions and gazillions of puzzles, questions, problems without current solutions. We were all given puzzle pieces. And when we look at this puzzle piece, we don't know exactly where it fits. And so it doesn't make any sense to us. Like, well, why do we have this skill? Or why do we have this talent? Or why do we have this experience? It doesn't make any sense. And I think for a lot of people that are wanting to do business with you, Brendon, or if you're out there and you watch Brendon's stuff and you're like, but I don't know all the answers, right? I totally get it. I don't know all the answers. Brendon will admit he doesn't know all the answers, but you know what Brendon does is he says, here's what I do know, and here's what I'm giving back to the world because this was on loan to me. The truth is you don't have to have all of the pieces already. You don't have to know all the answers. You just have to have the cojones to stand up, hold out your puzzle piece, and be proud and say, this is what I do know. This is the experiences that I have had. And when you do that, it's like the law of attraction. The rest of the puzzle pieces will find themselves. For me, I know that I am not going to cure cancer. I am not going to be the person that figures out the way to travel through space to that alternate galaxy. But what I can do is I can find one business owner, improve their marketing in such a way that they grow their business, that they can hire one more person, create one more job, and give one more person enough income that maybe they can send their daughter to medical school who does cure cancer. Or maybe they're able to get their son their Christmas present that's the crazy science kit that inspires him to go on and invent some crazy invention that makes all of our lives better. I don't know where my puzzle piece fits. All I know is I can stand out there and hold it up and say, this is what I do know. This is what I do have to give. So make sure that you connect and you hold up your piece. All right, so there's my 5 tips. Cut the cord. Think big, build small, but be mentally prepared to become really, really big, because it'll happen. Accountability matters every day. Cut your losses and be thankful. And most importantly, connect every chance you get. My name is Jenn Bryden. Brendon, I look forward to meeting you soon, one way or another, and until then, keep rockin'.
Jenn out.